probably miss because I know there's.
Okay, so being recorded now, Samana, right? Thank you.
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah, we're in progress.
Okay. Okay, so assalamu alaikum, everyone. I know you guys have like informally been introduced to me like via email and that cute little flyer someone put together. But I'm Samia Khan. I'm so excited to be here. I've been teaching in the public school system for 14 years now. I teach at Elgin High School. I teach English and I've taught a variety of different levels and age groups. My primary focus is with AP and honors, so literature and all of that fun stuff that I'm sure a lot of us Desis dread usually, because we're usually like the science and math brains. So I think I'm a bit of an anomaly, but I do enjoy it a lot. And I also, in addition to that on the side, I write children's books. So I've authored 2 books, alhamdulillah, and my own children were my inspiration to do this, just to give voice to the Muslim Americans and just our children, just to have pride and know who they are. And when Samana told me about WISE, I was super excited to come on. I'm really excited to work with all of you guys. I think it's so noble that all of you are here volunteering your time and your Sunday, such a precious day for everyone, but to like really give back to the community. I would just love to work with you guys because I feel like that says so much about who you are. So I'm really excited to help you guys, moving forward with any changes that we see, the way WISE evolves, given the pandemic. If we do go virtual, just coming up with great ideas to help maintain that attention and that really just that rapport with your students, which is something, as a teacher, I totally can empathize. And I don't know what last year was like for all of you, but I feel like being in this position where you're volunteering and then to have zero training or like formal training that we get as teachers, I really respect all of you. So I would love to help each and every one of you as we move forward. That's a little bit about me.
Thank you. And Samia is being modest. Her books are like very popular. They're like sold in Barnes and Noble. They're like all over the place. You probably even have them. She did an author signing once way before my kids went and like got their book signed. So it's cool. She's like a real legit author. And then we'll do introductions in a second, but Ruhina is also a teacher. So like WISE this year, powerhouse of teachers. What district is your school, Ruhina? Are you 54? I can't remember.
No, I'm West Chicago School District 33. So right in between like Wheaton and Carroll Stream area.
So we got early childhood, we got secondary education, we got instructional design. So we inshallah WISE is just knocking it out of the park. And then the teachers, like everyone who's a non-education background, they're so creative and so dedicated. It's I don't know, if I start talking about the teachers, I'll start crying because they're so good. So we'll move on. We'll do intros for everybody in a second. I'll just get started here for us. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you guys see that?
We can see it, yes. How cute.
Okay, welcome back to school. Class starts October 3rd. So like literally next week, I like blinked and summer is over. So we will be back in school October 3rd. What I'll do is we'll leave time, we'll make it open. So like ask questions in between, feel free to stop me. I know some of you know this stuff. We are also recording for new teachers. So a little bit is gonna be repetition because new teachers will come on, but definitely this is informal. So feel free to stop me. And a big like virtual hug and heart to all the teachers. I can't tell you, like, without you, there is no school. Like literally there is no school without amazing teachers. So like Sami already said, thank you for dedicating your time and your effort and not just showing up, but like creative. Like Sami, if you walk into any one of these people's classrooms at any given time, Ruhina's classrooms got rotations going on, learning centers. Famina's classroom kids are like working on activities. Like Nasreen Appa's classroom, the kids are like enamored with their teacher. They're just like so checked in. So mashallah, Zainab's classes did virtual last year and shall be in person this year. So really, really creative bunch. Alhamdulillah.
That's amazing.
Okay, we're gonna do 4 things. So let's meet each other. We'll talk about first day. We'll talk about your class and your assignments, and then school policies, our favorite part, inshallah. Oh, actually, you know what? Usually, Brother Mujahid used to do the dua. I don't know, Sami, if you want to. Otherwise, we can do a silent dua for this, so you're not on this putting you on the spot. It's your choice.
Sure, I'll prepare one next time, but right now let's do a silent one. Maybe I'll have one prepared.
Yeah, let's do that. So how about everybody just take 2 seconds, read Surah Fatiha to yourself. Inshallah, this training will go well. We'll get started. You'll hear me referring to our previous principal too. We still have such a good relationship with Kiran and Mujahid, even though they had personal things to attend to, but it's still a family. So I refer to them all the time. Samia knows this. I'm like, this is what they did. She's like, great. Okay.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, big shoes to fill, but they got someone who's also, mashallah, really coming in with a ton of experience and just heavy hitting on the education side. So it's a good transition, alhamdulillah. Okay, so Ruhina, you weren't here, you were taught before, but last year we started this thing of this weekly attendance question. So just to force the kids to kind of start talking in the beginning. So we have like lower elementary questions and then grade questions for older students. So we model everything. So we're gonna do that today, right now. That's our icebreaker. We're gonna do a weekly attendance question. And typically the way it goes is, as a teacher, I'll say salam, and I'll like, here, let me move people here. I'll say my name. And then for today, we're gonna pick our favorite emoji. I think you should be able to, do you guys see it on your controls? Like your emoji icons and stuff like that?
Reactions, it's under reactions.
Yeah, your reactions. If you see reactions on your controls,
yes.
When we get to that, and there's more, I think you can even click more and pick one. So if you have a favorite reaction on Zoom, or you can tell me your favorite emoji. So let's model, and then we can also get to know each other too. So I'll start. I'll say, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Samia. My name is Samana. What is your favorite emoji or reaction?
Okay.
And you can say Walaikum Salam, Sister Samana. Yeah.
Okay, Walaikum Salam, Sister Samana. My favorite emoji is a heart. Do you guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
Okay, pick someone.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Nasreen. My name's Samia. What is your favorite emoji?
Alaikum salam. My name is Nasreen, and my favorite emoji is, let me put it up, is the laughing face. I love to laugh. I love to make people, kids, everyone laugh. So I use that quite often. Everyone who's talked to me knows that.
That's true. Okay, pick someone.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Rahina. What's your favorite emoji?
Welcome, salam, Sister Nasreen. My favorite emoji is, oh my gosh, I just had it. Okay.
Pizza. Yay.
Yes. I am all about food. If you want me to do anything for you, food is the way to my heart. So that's me.
Samia, we'll have to remember that and like bake her some like banana bread or something, or like, what's your favorite
Will
food?
not put fruit in my bakery item. Okay?
Let's clarify. What is your favorite food? Are we going
No
like
carrot
green?
cake, no banana bread. It has to be straight up like chocolate.
And Famina can help us with that. Famina is a baker, so she can help us with that. We will enlist Famina's help to get Famina's help.
Alrighty, then on that token, Assalamu alaikum, Famina. Tell me your favorite emoji.
Oh, you're on mute, Famina.
There you go.
There
Sorry about that. Walaikum salam, Sister Rahina. My favorite emoji is the one with the sunglasses. My kids are always using some witty way of answering me, and that's literally what it feels like. After they give their answer, they kind of walk away. That's exactly what it feels like. So we do that quite often in our house.
We feel you there.
I'm sorry?
I said, we feel you. That's how the kids are. That's how they all are. Feel you.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Zainab. What's your favorite emoji?
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fahmia. I'm Zainab, and my favorite emoji is just like Sister Nasreen's laughing emoji. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh too. So yeah. And then we're good, right? We did with everyone.
We got everyone. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
you can say salam to me. I didn't go.
Oh
okay.
yes. Oh, sorry. Assalamualaikum, Sister Samaya. What's your favorite emoji?
Walaikum salam, Sister Zainab. So I'm screen sharing, so all my controls are like hidden, but my favorite emoji is let me check on my phone and see. I have to think about this. These days I've been using the emoji where the guy kind of looks like he's going a little crazy. That's the best.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using it all the time, and it feels like, and you guys can all relate. Like you work, mom, home, Sunday school, like in-laws, like everything all combined. And then by the end of the day, you kind of do that like crazy guy who's just like getting a little crazy. But alhamdulillah, Allah gives us barakat in our time. So we do all those things for others, but somehow we make it work. He helps us make it work. So that's mine. Okay, anything else? Anyone want to share anything else about themselves since it's a small group? Anything fun? I know we got teacher, we got Baker. Zainab just graduated. Yay, UIC.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
What did you major in, Zainab?
I did a double major, biology and stats, so it has nothing to do with teaching. I'm so far away from that. But these are my two majors.
Biology and what? What was the other one?
Stats.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
We'll have to get you to do some data research for us.
Oh my
It's
God.
important. It's
know.
important.
I got you.
And you know
That's
what?
actually my field, so I can do any analysis you need to for WISE.
Please do. And there's so many students who do follow that bio path. It's nice to have like mentors in the school. I think it's still such a big part of students and their career choices. So it's nice to have that mentorship. And Sister Nasreen, I can tell you, she not only runs a house, has 4 kids, does WISE, has a job, but she also does volunteer work every Saturday. So every Sunday is teaching. Every Saturday she runs the ICNA, like she does ICNA pantry, diaper drive, a school supply drive. What else? Abby, what else is it? Also, I call her.
And I just want to add for Sister Nasreen, what impresses me is how athletic and sporty she is.
She's in a tournament. She's in a softball tournament right now.
Yes, she
actually,
enjoys this.
I do need luck today because today is the game that will either get us to the championship or not. So
yes, in between all that. So
wow, I don't know how you do it. That's amazing,
it's
mashallah.
she's like a mentor for mentors, basically.
yeah.
Wow.
It's nice.
Okay, I'm gonna move us forward. How do we prepare for first day of school? So let me escape out of here. I'm gonna send you all this checklist. You might have seen it before. And I know some of you know this because you've been with the school before, but if you can bear with me, we have new teachers who are going to be joining so they can watch this. I'm gonna put this in the teachers chat. It's your checklist for your first day of school. So you have 1 week now to do some of these things. Attend training, yay, check it off. Thank you. Check out your textbook if you have it, look over your Sunnah in action for the older grades. Try to make a lesson plan for the first day. I have some stuff for you, but you can make your own lesson plan just so you're prepared for that first day. All of a sudden you have a bunch of kids in your class looking at you like, what's going on? And you definitely want to come in prepared. I know I'm preaching to the choir with this group. Everyone's very prepared, but for new teachers joining, have a plan. Please come in with a plan and be prepared with the things that you need to fulfill that plan. And then I'm going to say this, think about your class rules, your expectations and routines. Honestly, I would just Google it, type in like class rules for 3rd grade or class rules for middle school, and just see the creative stuff that they come up with. So you have an idea and you can co-create this with your students, come up with class rules together, or you can, have like a poster ready to go that you want to share. I'm going to pause here for a second. Anybody do class rules with their kids now that they can share like a tip for us? Go ahead, Rahina.
We do classroom expectations for well, I'm preschool, so we do a lot of visual expectations and things like that. So if you guys want, I could actually share the expectations that we do. And there's an expectation for each chunk of the day, like your arrival routine, your, centers time, all that kind of time. And it's really like simple. It's like eyes are looking, ears are listening, voice is quiet, hands to self, staying in your space, things like that. And we can like tailor it to, any age level. Visual expectations are great for preschool all the way up to high school. So, and,
Yes.
you know, you
Please
can
do share. Please do share. And that teachers chat that we have, if you have teachers tips like that, please do share because everyone can benefit from that. I like the visuals. I'm very big on visuals. I'm a visual learner myself. So I think that helps. And I like even up until high school, you know, we can change the visual, but the concept is there. Sister Samia, do you do stuff? Do you have like some classroom expectations?
Yeah, definitely. So I think expectations is so important on the first day, you know, if not the first week. Obviously, we have the first day because it's only Sunday. But it's really, I always tell my students, it's kind of like your syllabus and your expectations are kind of like your constitution and your contract for the way that year is going to go. And it really sets the tone for everything moving forward. I think for the older grades, like particularly with Sister Zainab, I think Sister Rena, that's amazing that you do more visual for the little guys. I think that'll really resonate with them. For the older kids, I like to give the autonomy to them. So kind of like one of the things we do in high school is I bring in like a giant poster board piece of paper and we all go around and I have them in small groups and each group kind of comes up with like the number one thing that they think is the most important when it comes to the way a class should function in harmony and with respect. And then we kind of go around and then I add it visually again, like Sister Romina, to that poster paper. We put it up and then we, you know, like I come up with different ways. Moving forward, if we were to go virtual, like sometimes we'll make a Google Doc out of it and it's like shared virtually with the kids, or you could put it somewhere posted in the classroom. You can make little signs, you know, like if you give me the rules that you guys come up with, we could come up with something and laminate them and, you know, find a creative way to really show it. But I think the autonomy is so important for the older kids where they feel like they're taking a part and they're actually respected, views are respected.
I agree with Sister Samia that I actually do that for the first graders too. And they feel so responsible coming up with their own rules that if they miss a mark, like, wait, I came up with that. They feel like that ownership that I put down. No, you know, first graders are different. They put down no hitting, no, you know, no kicking, like the rules are different, but to them that's behaving, which is good because they'll look at that chart. And if they see that they're not doing that, they're like, well, I came up with that. It's not the teachers telling me that's my rule that I came up with. So I agree. I think that's very effective.
Let's definitely share all this. So I like both. I like having some prepared and sharing with the students. And then I also like the co-creation. I do recommend everyone, especially new teachers, research your top 5 favorite rules, even if you're going to co-create, so that this way you can kind of like gear the kids towards some of the stuff that you want. And there's tons of different ideas. So always feel free. There's tons of teachers and part of WISE. Feel free to ask any one of us to can you give me an idea for classroom rules and expectations? And I'm going to guess you guys continue to cover that. Like Rena, you do yours every week. Do you remind the kids of their classroom rules every week? Yeah. And then I think older grades, maybe every week. Samia, do you do it every week or so? Like, do you remind them how do you, I mean, you have a daily school, but.
Yeah, I have a daily school. I'm gonna be really honest. I spend that first day really driving hard, like the way this class will function. So whether it's like, I spend a portion of the period, because we meet for 50 minutes, right? So I spend a portion of the period talking about academics, like what their expectations, what my expectations are from them academically, behavioral, and then in terms of just general housekeeping issues. And I think that could really be applicable to preschool through high school, you know, like what do I expect from you? But I think I really say the first 9 weeks of a school year are everything. It's the foundation. And you are pretty much setting the tone. So like, you know, I mean, I'm seeing this with my own daughter. My daughter's in first grade, right? And it's kind of a tragic situation because her teacher has kind of lost control of the class. There's a lot of rowdy boys and they're just taking full advantage of her. And I was trying to explain to her, you know, at parent teacher conferences that it's really important to establish everything in the beginning, like practice what you preach. Like, so whatever you guys cover on that first Sunday, the following Sunday, like that's great, Sister Regina, that you review it because it's been a whole week. They've forgotten it, right? They've had 5 days of regular schooling and social events. So when they come in that next Sunday, literally, I would say like when class begins, it should be silence. You should be like, let's talk about what we covered, you know, spend the first 10 minutes even like reviewing everything, sometimes even modeling that behavior. Like those of you who have TAs, I think right now we have, inshallah, every teacher should have a TA, but even modeling that and putting that into practice, you know, like imagine if she was to do this, you know, how would I feel? I think it's so important, and it seems tedious or monotonous, but it's really important to just really drive that into their minds. Also, one last thing I'm going to say, I don't want to drag, but in the event that we go virtual, it's everything. This first month of October is everything, because should we go virtual, I anticipate it happening with, you know, holidays and like weather getting colder, virus and all that stuff spreading and becoming a little bit more dominant in certain areas. So I really advise that like you spend October building that connection with your students. And that's basically going to be done by establishing, setting the tone, and then letting them know who you are as a person, what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate.
Yeah, inshallah. I think rules, expectations, you know, we should have our own set, and then we should share with the students. And I appreciate everyone's contribution to the conversation, because it is, classroom management is probably one of the toughest parts of teaching, I would say. Okay, just to keep us moving forward. So first day, arrive at 9:40, come early, you know, because it's been a while since we've been in a building, right? Find your classroom, set up your classroom. And I'm going to give you this. I'm not going to go through each and every line so you can look at it on your own, but I literally have a checklist item for how to get through your day. If you're a teacher who's got it and you have your own plan, please feel free to use your plan. I trust you. But if you do not have a plan, or if you're new to teaching, here's a checklist. Literally, you're going to come in, put in your name on the board, put a bell work, like a little classroom activity. I'll show you an example in a second. Then we're going to go outside, stand on the blacktop, and greet our students outside. So we're going to limit the number of parents that coming in and out of the school because of COVID. Teachers who have taught before, you know, we stand on the blacktop, the kids come and stand in front of us, we hold up a sign with our grade, and then we walk them back into class. You're going to have students, you're going to introduce yourself with your 3 favorite things. I'll share that in a second. Kids will introduce themselves, use time to talk about the rules. You're going to do like get to know you cards with the students, play an icebreaker. So I'm going to share all of this in a moment, but just so you guys know, there is a checklist out there in case you need help planning your first day. So let me move us back to this. I told you guys I'm a very visual person, so I also have the visuals. So you are going to, hold on a second here. Did I miss my slide? Okay. Okay. So when you come to class, have some kind of activity for them to like just when they're ready. So give yourself like 2 minutes with bell work. You know me teachers, I have my teacher table set up in class. So I usually print everything for you. It's like a catered service here for the teachers. I print worksheets, I print word searches. You will have this for you on your first day. If you want to make your own, make your own. So like the little ones, they have the hidden pictures. It's all like back to school hidden picture stuff. The older ones, they have a word search, back to school word search. So have a little activity that sits on their desk. So right when they walk in, they have something to do, and give yourself 2 minutes to like gather your thoughts. And then you're going to go out to the blacktop. So the side of the school, the left side of the school, we're going to line up the students before they come in, and then we'll walk in at 10 a.m. And then have 3 things. Try to bring 3 physical things about yourself if you can, to explain, like, you know, like let the kids know who you are, a little bit of your personality. Your name should be on the board. The grade should be on the board so the kids can see like, oh, I'm in the wrong class. And then have things about yourself, right? So this is mine. I love game night. So I might bring one of my games. I love road trips. So sometimes I bring a map and I show them all the different states that we've driven to. And then I bring pictures of my family, which I don't know why, they love it. And they makes me feel like a real person. So I bring pictures of the kids and they're so into it. And then they start asking about it all the time. So bring 3 things if you can. I think Sister Nasreen, you bring a hockey stick and like a big one, like the giant one.
Yeah.
Farina, what do you bring? I know you brought stuff before. Like, do you bring stuff from home?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember, because we were virtual last year, everything was in my grasp. Like I had everything set up on my desk and I was pulling stuff out and what I like and what the kids like. But Legos were very popular in my class. Legos and those little bead things that you make, you know, like figures and stuff with.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness, they were so popular. The rule was that if you're going to use them, you can't drop too many on the floor, because we didn't want to sit there and clean the classroom up, at the end of the day. And the kids were so into it, they loved it. And we didn't really make a mess. I was so surprised for second grade.
Yeah,
So,
anything they can physically see, touch, if you let them touch it too, like, well, I don't know, with COVID. I have to be careful with everything now. I don't know with COVID if you can pass things around anymore, but at least if they can physically see it. So bring stuff about yourself. And then you'll do your attendance questions. So you will have this in your teacher's folder. I have one for little grades too. So they're question starters. Use your own if you want. But I have like 30 for each one. So each week you can start with something different. Like if you could switch lives with someone for the day, who would it be? Something fun. The reason why we're doing this is that salam is so important. I think this generation of kids, they really struggle saying salam. And also I think a little bit, take a step back, like even our parents, our age group, we struggle saying salam. Sometimes we don't always say salam. So want to drive that home with the kids. Like so important to say salam, get comfortable with saying salam, get comfortable with your name, and get comfortable being the first one to say salam, so that inshallah, as they grow older, they see other Muslim people. We want our wise kids to be the first ones out there saying, hey, assalamu alaikum, hey, assalamu alaikum, so drive that. If nothing else, our kids will be the first to say salam when they go other places, and bring that back. I think that's starting to get lost a little bit in our community. Okay, and then we'll have these info cards. I'll have these ready printed for you. So, when you walk in the morning, when you come at 9:40, come to the teacher's table, get the stuff that belongs for you, go to your classroom, set up your things. The bell work you can have on their desk ready to go. These cards you can have on your own desk ready to hand out when it's time. But I like to do these get to know you cards. So, like older students, they have separate questions. Elementary kids have separate questions. I'm with you, Rahina. I like the visuals for little ones. They can circle because they can't write. So if you have your own get to know you cards, feel free to use it. Otherwise, I have these for you guys. I know like third grade last year did this whole thing about tacos, like talk about a third grade class, and they had like taco rules and taco cards. So it was really fun. So be creative if you want to. You don't have to take this, but it's there for you. And yeah.
question.
Yes.
Do you know how many students we have in all the classes this year?
Yeah, so good question. So it's kind of a weird year because I think parents are still scared to send their kids in person, not in person, and they're scared both ways. They're scared about doing virtual, they're scared about in person. So enrollment is low. It's less than 10 for sure. I mean, I think you have the highest number. Second grade has like 8, and the other ones are about around 5 students. I would say if you can, reach out to people in your community, tell them about WISE, encourage them to join Sunday school. It has nothing to do with us. We don't get anything out of it, but it's just nicer when the kids have more friends in the class, more students. So some of you have really low ones, like 3 or 4 right now. I'll give you guys, I think we're gonna do a final count like in the next day or 2, so we can update the count for you so you can be prepared. But I think you have 8. I think kindergarten has like 5. We counted. 4th grade has like 5. 3rd grade or 1st grade has like 3 right now. So plug WISE for the sake of the students. What's up?
5th and 7th.
5th and 7th, we have a ton of parents who are just pending. They're just waiting. So inshallah this week, I'll give you guys a heads up within the next couple of days. 7th and like I'm trying to check too, they're like pending. So I don't want to give a number yet until we know.
Yeah, I just want to interject real quick. The problem is a lot of the registrations are half complete. Like, for example, last night there was one pending 7th grade, registry. And then I just had to message the mom and she's like, oh, I'll send the payment and I'll finish the application. So she's in now. So definitely, I think Sister Samana, by like Wednesday, we should know for sure.
Yeah, inshallah Wednesday. And also like you guys know Sunday school, they register up until like the first 2 weeks of school. So I would say as teachers plug it, we have a lot pending. Wednesday we'll give you a count. And then whoever hasn't registered their kids internally register.
I've got to jump in. That's one of the reasons why I'm asking, because Hanif had a very small class when we were in school,
Yeah.
in 5th grade, and he didn't do it last year because we were virtual. So he was asking, he's like, how many kids do I have in my class? Like, he's kind of trying to figure that stuff out.
You know what's happening, Femina, is everyone is doing that. So all the parents, there's a bunch of parents who have middle schoolers, but everyone is waiting until they see how many kids are in the class. And so it's
I'm going to go.
potentially there could be like 10, but like all 10 parents have held out because they don't know how many are going to be there. So I'm going to start encouraging people, just register because the other ones will join once they see people in there. Okay, I'm going to move us back forward. So we always do like a icebreaker for the first day. I think last year we did the M&M games. We gave every child a pack of M&Ms where they pulled a color out and then the color matched, you know, like one of these questions. So if you pull out green, it's something you love to do when you're not in school. If you pull out blue, name a place you want to visit. That was kind of fun. I don't know, did you guys, I know we did this virtually last year. Do you guys remember what student reactions were? Did they like it?
Yeah.
I think I liked it.
I think it's going to be the M&M game. I'm trying to figure out, not everybody likes chocolate. So I don't know if Skittles is halal or not. There's like this worldwide debate. Skittles is halal or not. So we'll see. But you will have an icebreaker ready to go for you. If you have your own, you can use your own.
We can do fruit snacks. Mott's.
Fruit snacks is good. Yeah, Mott's. Yeah, that's true. Fruit snacks is good too. So I'm going to take a look. Well, Samia, you and I will figure out the best possible way. Maybe I think if I can confirm Skittles are halal, which I've heard from several people, we'll just have both because they're similar colors. Inshallah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard they're halal. We're Skittles
Yeah.
fans in my home, so we've heard
Yeah.
they're halal.
Yeah, and I have some halal police friends who have confirmed, but we will double confirm. Okay, so then you're gonna do your icebreaker. You're gonna preview your textbook. So the WISE books are really vibrant and full of color. I would spend a little bit of time of passing out your books. You're gonna get them on the first day and let the kids look through them, pick out pictures. If you're prepared, you can do a scavenger hunt inside your textbook. So I do a few things. I let them look at the table of contents and talk to me about what are we gonna learn this year. I let them pick out fun pictures, like what are interesting pictures. Like if you notice Abraham Lincoln is sitting in this one, like, ooh, what's Abraham Lincoln doing in an Islamic book, right? We talk about that. We talk about the features of the book. You as a teacher should know the features. Every chapter is set up exactly the same. So there's like an intro hadith, there's a story at the end, there's vocabulary at the end. Let them see the book features. So if they ever like to read on their own, they know to look out for like, look out, here's a map or like, you know, vocab at the end. So preview the book, let them like ask questions about the book, make a game out of the book if you can. Little grades. I know, Ruhina, you have your own plan. I know maybe it's not as textbook heavy, but actually, Ruhina, what do you do like with the kids? Like, do you do anything about books or anything? I'll ask you since you might have pre-K coming on.
I know that Ruth stepped away. She said she'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. So when she comes back, I'll ask her. But spend
One
time
thing,
on the,
I do want to say one thing though. Just being a teacher of English and literature, you know, selling reading in general in this day and age to the modern mind is a true struggle, just given the devices and all the distractions. But something that I think works really well. First of all, I can just say, I genuinely love these textbooks because my niece has one of them and I've looked through them and I love them. But I think when students see that, it doesn't matter if they're in first grade or even preschool, I think when students see that the teacher loves something and it's presented in a way, like I always tell my colleagues too, like, I'm really trying to sell this book, you know, like I'm trying to sell like Conrad's Heart of Darkness to my seniors who just want to go on Instagram all day, you know? So I feel like it does something. Like when I present books to my students and I tell them, like, I talk it up and I'm like, this is just beautiful. I love it. I feel like they in turn will start to like catch on to that vibe and they try to like mimic that. So it's again,
enthusiasm.
See monkey do. You
Yeah,
know?
enthusiasm. If you have enthusiasm for something, they'll have enthusiasm. And they are really good books. They're made by Iqra and they're like wonderful books. So spend time with the book. And that's pretty much your day. So let me just go back to this for a second. Let me move you guys at your lovely faces. So all of the stuff I just showed you is all in this checklist. So like I said, if you don't have a plan, this is your plan. You know, have the kids introduce themselves, go through your rules activity, do the get to know you cards, play the icebreaker, that M&M activity, pass out the books and preview. It's all sitting here. 11 o'clock is snack time, and then you kids go outside for recess. While the weather is good, I would encourage everyone to go outside as much as we can. We are going to come up with hand washing time. We'll have COVID plans we'll talk about at the end, but we'll come up with a hand washing schedule so we can make sure that before snack, every grade gets to go wash their hands and that there's not a big rush in the bathroom. So we'll figure that all out and then give you guys your schedule on the first day. But you will have a folder with all your stuff, and then you'll have the teacher's table to pick up your daily activities, inshallah. Okay, I'm gonna pull back. Any questions, you guys? Any questions on first day? Okay, and then, you know, like for those of you who are experiencing, you know, you pretty much get everything, like you can do it yourself or you get everything you need. I'm gonna actually pause here for a second. I wanna hear from the teachers before we get into class. If there's new teachers who are gonna be watching, tell them, what do you love about WISE? Like, why do you come teach? Why is WISE special for you? It could be things that you love about WISE, things that you do in your own class that you love, or just the WISE program itself. So I wanna hear, what do you guys love about WISE?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I like volunteering. That's kind of how I started with WISE. And once I joined, just the environment, and I was blessed every single time to have some amazing kids. We had people complaining about their classrooms, and then here I am going, I got a large class, but it's so nice. Somehow, some way, my kids are not rowdy. They're always following rules, and they're just good, fun-loving kids. So I don't know. I got lucky both times, I guess.
I think it's the teacher more than the luck.
Whatever it was, it worked out really well, and it's a good environment to be in. It's good for my own kids. It's fun. The fact that us as teachers, we have so much responsibility, and that responsibility is given to us and entrusted, and parents trust their kids with their children with us. It's a good feeling to have, and just want to continue to give back to the community as much as possible.
Do you have a special WISE memory or anything that stands out to you about WISE that brings joy or brings excitement?
Yeah, the fact that so the first year I joined, I had one child that had some difficulties in learning. He would come to class not wanting to be in class, but he would leave every day wanting to come to class the next weekend. And towards the end of school, we had a bunch of kids that were just very, very sad about leaving. A kid cried, and it was these special moments when you know that you're doing what you're doing, it's worth it and it's right, and you're actually bonding with the children. It's so precious.
I would say that's a very rare quality where kids actually want to come to Sunday school, and it's the reverse cry. Normally they cry not to, but to cry to stay or to cry to have to finish the school year. I mean, gosh, I can't say enough about the teachers. It's amazing. Okay, Sister Nasreen, you had a thought. Anything that excites you about WISE or special memory or anything?
So I'm not a teacher by profession. So when I first started, almost had no choice but to be a teacher. But
That's right.
when I first started, I was kind of nervous. Like, are the kids gonna even listen to me, or am I gonna keep? And I have first graders. I mean, I do have kids my own, but I can be, stern with them. So my thing was, how am I going to engage with the kids? How am I going to get them, like Femina said, how am I going to get them to wanting to come back? And it is just really connecting with them. I'm talking sports with the boys. They'll come home, the next week, and we'll talk about the game. Like, Mahone was like big back, 2 years ago. And so all the boys were like, wait, you know football? I'm like, yeah, I know football. I watch football. And then it was just this connection. So every week, like before I start class, before we do anything, it's just talking like, how was your week? What did you guys do? Like, sometimes they'll tell me great things that happened. Sometimes they'll like, oh, well, this didn't go well. I'm like, it's such a nice connection. I mean, even though they were little, they were just responsive. And that like, to me was like, wow, okay, something's happening.
I think that in a nutshell is like WISE difference, is that the teachers, mashallah, all of them can just get down at that student level. It's not this hierarchy. It's like, you're a real person and the child is a real person, and connecting with them. I think that is such a special WISE. I think that's a differentiator in terms of that connection.
And, and I do the reverse too. So I say a lot of stuff about me. I'm like, okay, you guys got to know 10 things about me. Every week, every kid would like list out the 10 things.
They may not have memorized the surah, but they have memorized the streams.
That's what I like.
I'm just joking. They actually memorizing the surah too. They're doing it all. Okay, Sister Rahina, what excites you about WISE? You're one of my fun ones because you came and then you took a year off and then you came back. So what brought you back?
I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things is now that my little one can go to WISE too. So she'll be in the kindergarten class. So that's one thing that's kind of, brought me back. And, I think for me, WISE is like, it's like I'm not trying to minimize my Sunday school experience because I learned so much from it. Like I have some really great memories and I've learned some really good content that I kind of keep with me and I use in my daily life. But I feel like overall, Sunday school was not a very happy and a very welcoming place. It wasn't always nice to be there, but for me, WISE just kind of feels like I'm coming to a family party on a Sunday afternoon, and yeah, there's a little bit of structure. And like Nesreen was saying, it's like, those first 20, it was supposed to be 5 minutes of community building where we would just talk about our day and things like that. And it would turn into 15 minutes of, this is what I did this weekend. I had a football game. I had a baseball game. I had pizza last night. It's just simple conversations that were happening with the kiddos and the relationships that we were building. And then when it came to actually talking about the core curriculum, I felt like they were more responsive to it and, introducing memorization and understanding of like the Islamic components in a little bit of a different way that's a little bit more developmentally appropriate for our younger ones. It's just it's exciting. I know it's like I'm geeking out and dorking out.
I'm so geeking out hearing you talk because I'm like that line right there. It feels like a family party every Sunday. Like nailed it on the head. That is the feeling of everyone in the school. It feels like a family party, and I think like of course curriculum instruction is very important to our school. Obviously, we're a school full of educators, but we value more student connection, so we're flexible. Like if you need to build that connection more with your students over the curriculum, like as part of WISE, they will learn, like build that connection, have them love the concept of Islamic community and Islamic learning more. And then when they're older, they'll come back. But if they hate it at a young age, you've kind of driven them away for good. Sister Zainab, you're our interesting one because you're our first year virtual only. So, like what brought you back to teach WISE again, even though it was a virtual year?
Well, I'm the first virtual year. This is the first time me teaching to a class. I'll be honest with you guys, I've never thought myself as a teacher because I also have a lot of younger cousins and they don't listen to me. So it was always scary for me. I was like, I don't know if they're ever gonna listen to me. Like, do I have that? But honestly, just going back to WISE, like actually one of my Islamic school teacher told me about it. And that's why it got me kind of excited. Like she probably thinks it's something good. Anyway, so when I came here, just the way they taught Islam made me want to like, it's very basic, but it's something that applies to ourselves too. So I feel like I was learning with them, just the Sunnah and action days, talking about what we're gonna do at our houses, them learning new things like how to, for example, we're learning about how to like something clean your house, something like that. And mine was the most basic one, vacuuming my side of the room or something like that. And I just think it was such a practical approach because I've never been to Sunday school, but I've heard a lot of things about people not liking it, people just going there and teachers like they're just like being like they're just told this is right, this is wrong. But I really liked how they integrated like the practical part to it, and everyone was enjoying it. And it wasn't just it was just the students told by the teachers; they themselves are doing it. And mashallah, Miss Amana does so good of making it like look so equally. It's not like who's in a higher, it's not like a higher person who's telling you what to do. So I really like that but Wise. And I was actually second thinking, I was like, should I come back? Because this year is so busy. And I was like, no, I think I'll need that break and I want to come back. So alhamdulillah, I'm so
Yeah,
happy.
alhamdulillah. You know what? I love that you said practical learning. Oh my God, these two statements, so awesome. The practical learning, because that's the whole point of WISE is if what I'm teaching is going to apply to them Monday through Friday. So like what I'm learning on Sunday should help them get through their life as a Muslim student in public school or the regular, the Monday through Friday school. And then the co-learning, it's so great. I think that's part of the magic of WISE is we learn together, and sometimes the kids are teaching us, sometimes we're teaching them. But what Sister Zainab was talking about, like practical learning, we talked about being clean and just cleaning our own rooms, and we had to come up with a plan of like, how are we going to do this? What's the chore that's the hardest? And we came up with strategies, and Sister Zainab said vacuuming is tough, but the kids coached her and helped her come up with a plan. So I like that. And like, just like the modeling, we're off track because we're talking about we're making connections first. So I'm going to move us forward, but I love hearing this. I think the connection stories resonate more than the lesson, I feel like. So with that, I'm going to move us forward, keep us on track, because I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But for those who are teeter-tottering about teaching, you heard it here live. It's a family party, it's practical, it's a connection, and the kids cry when they leave class. Okay, schedule really quick. Sorry, I think it's a little blurry, but morning activities happen at 10 a.m. We do that first, 15, 20 minutes, like Rohina's saying, it's supposed to be like 10, 15 minutes, but I mean, the kids are having so much fun. It just goes over every week, and that's okay, because that's what brings them in the door. That's what gets them to come on time. So morning activities is going to be like sports and brain teasers and, like team building activities. Samia and I are going to work out and make sure that the activities now are going to be COVID appropriate. I know it's not as fun as before, but we will make sure that it's still fun. It still has that morning magic feeling, but we'll make sure that it's safe, because safety first. And then Quranic studies, we do give teachers the flexibility of changing up the schedule. So because you're teaching the whole, day by yourself, so do what you need to do. But honestly, sometimes Quranic studies in the morning is the best when their brain is fresh, and that's the hardest subject. And then the subjects just get easier and more fun as the day carries on. So Quranic studies, break at 11 for snack and recess. Then 11:15 is Islamic studies. This is actually, you know what? It's sorry, Rohina, it shows 12:05. I have to edit this. This was our virtual schedule, but you're going on full day, and then Sunnah in Action starts around like 12:05. Sunnah in Action to get into this in a minute, but Sunnah in Action for grades 3 and up are those community service activities, and Sunnah in Action for like first grade, second grade is like your arts and crafts time. That's when the kids are doing your workbook, and your workbook has the crafts already built in. And then grade assignments, here's what we have right now. Guys, these are like not written in stone. Some of you are, but some of you might end up moving around, just letting you know. It's such until the end, just figuring out by class size. But for sure, Rohina, your kindergarten, for sure, Nasreen Appa, your first grade, for sure, Famina, your second grade. The Zainabs, we have you both, I think in 5th grade, it's going to be a big class, but we're not sure. We might end up splitting you up. We might end up keeping you, we might end up switching you to 6. We're not sure yet. So be flexible with that. And then you guys all have TAs. I think what we're going to do with our TAs, because most of them are high school students, is we're going to have them do what we did last time, which is 2 hours of like learning for them and like leadership development, and then they get to do the last hour of TA. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but more to come. So you can at least, these people can be confirmed. Zainab, hold tight till Wednesday. Inshallah, we'll get you a final class. And then your curriculum. So your Islamic studies curriculum, for those of you from 1st grade all the way to like 6th grade, you have like solid books. Your curriculum is your table of contents. And you're doing, like 6 weeks of being a Muslim, so your Muslim identity, and then you have like 3 weeks of your beliefs, and then, about like 6-7 weeks of the ways we worship, and then the prophets of Allah, and then the seerah. So it's a build approach. So what they do in 3rd grade is going to build, and then it's going to be reflective in 4th grade. And then what they do in 4th grade will be reflective in 5th grade. So what we decided is that 3rd period, instead of doing 50 minutes of like Ahida and 50 minutes of Sira and 50 minutes of, these lessons each week. We just condense them so that we have that last period for community service. So your curriculum is your text, your table of contents. And I'm going to recommend what you have this week. Obviously, we don't have 30 weeks of school. So go through and figure out which lessons are the most important and which ones you can combine and which ones you can live without. So maybe about like a good 5 of them you're going to have to cut out. So see which ones you can combine or live without. Okay, and then Quran curriculum, it's a very, yeah, sure.
Going back to the books, last year, the workbooks that the kids had,
Yeah,
there were 2 portions to the workbook and there were 2 versions. So the first year when we started, the workbooks were black and white. Last year, some students had the colorful ones and the black and white ones. I think the students mostly had the colorful one. There's probably 1 or 2 that had the black and white, but the page numbers were slightly different.
okay.
I want to make sure that we have
Correct, coordinated books. Okay, thank you for saying that. Good point. I think, Famina, when the book that you had, we had like a beta version. They were testing it out. And so we have to that's a good point. I want to make sure all the teachers and the students have the exact same book and the full workbook. So I think Iqra at that time was like building books as they go. So they've built a good portion of them. So Sami, that's something we'll remember is to make sure the most updated book is there and then the teachers and students have the same one. And then if we do have to move virtually, then the page numbers is not an issue. Sure. Okay. Any other questions about curriculum, like Islamic studies curriculum? And I know kindergarten is a little bit different, but you have your plan and I can forward you, like share that page again if you need to, your curriculum plan.
Oh, one more.
If you don't mind, I feel like I
Yeah.
can look at it.
Yes, I'm going to share. I can share. So let me write that. Or Sami, if you're taking notes, let me share I haven't changed your plan. We use the same plan again. So it's the same plan. I'll share that Google Doc with you so you can go back and look. What did we do? Someone else had a question.
Yeah, I was just going to say for TAs, I think he wants to volunteer as well.
Okay.
What do we have to do to get him signed up?
We'll send the volunteer form.
Okay.
And I think he's in high school, right?
He's in 7th grade, right? Can 7th graders TA or no?
7th, no, high school, usually only high schoolers TA. Middle schoolers are still, it's like that final year, that catch-all year of making sure that they leave like wise with like everything. So middle schoolers are still in class, high schoolers TA. And like the older high schoolers, usually they 11 and 12. But I'm glad to hear that. You know what my favorite thing about WISE is? I didn't share mine. My favorite thing about WISE is every single kid who leaves WISE comes back and wants to help. That's my favorite thing. Or the ones who are like younger, like middle schoolers, they're like, I can't wait to get to a point where I could come back and help. And I'm like, did it. That's it. That was the goal. The goal is that you come back and you came back. So keep it up, teachers. Quran memorization. We have a very basic Quran curriculum, which is, and you guys will have this in your folder, which is surah memorization. And it's basic because we don't have that much time with the students. So we want the students to learn with the correct pronunciation. If you don't have that pronunciation, try to use tools like a YouTube video or, like recordings. And then right now what we have is like an ayah a week. I think for some kids, this is like literally the only Islam they get all week. So don't count on the parents helping them memorize. They should, but it's up to you. So it's memorization and very basic meaning. It's not a hardcore tajweed program right now. I think our kids are not there yet, and we just don't have the time. Parents will ask, are our kids going to learn tajweed or are our students going to learn how to read the Quran? The answer is recommend back to them to get an online Quran teacher or a teacher of themselves from Monday through Friday to read Quran. And weekend is surah memorization and like just perfecting your namaz, right? So we're learning the surah so we can perfect our namaz. We're memorizing the parts of namaz. So our goal at WISE is perfect the namaz, inshallah. So that's surah memorization, parts of salah is our focus. Any questions on surah memorization? Have you guys?
The teachers are responsible for that, right?
What's that?
The teachers are responsible for that because I know
Yeah.
the first year we had a Quran teacher separately.
Yeah, the teachers are responsible for that. I think throughout the school year, it's just been a really wacky year because of COVID and a big transition between our administration staff and stuff like that. So we're just kind of getting things into gear. I think we're going to start, like really working through our Quran program. So it's a solid program. And inshallah, if we get to a point where we have like Quran teachers who can come help and do that part, that was so helpful for us that first year. We'll get back to that. But for right now, it's on the teachers. We definitely have, so this year we have high school students who have done Hifz, and they're gonna come help for Quran class. So if you are a teacher who feels like my pronunciation's not there, we'll give you a high school kid who has done Hifz to help you with like, at least quiz them, like weekly and make sure that they're pronouncing correctly and memorizing ayahs. More to come on Quran as the year unfolds. And then third period, Sunnah in action. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, so I know this group knows, but for new teachers watching, third period is their community service time. So they do 5 units of like 5 weeks each. They do like community service, they do environment activities, they do social justice, they do leadership, and they do kindness. First and second grade, you all using your time to do your workbook, arts and crafts. That's your third period. So you have the workbook, the arts and crafts already built into the workbook. If you need supplies, we have a list. We're going to give you all your supplies. All your craft supplies come from the school. But if you need anything above that, just tell us. We have people who purchase supplies for the school. But we will provide your class with, every student will have the supplies for their workbook. That's first and second. Third and up. And also, Rahina too, like however your day goes, you're welcome to do certain things from these units if you want for your little ones. But so non-action, so I just want to share this really quick. Let me pull up my page. This is just a sample of 5th grade. You have a list of what you're doing each week. And then remember, I give you your lesson plan for these. So I'll give you everything you need. If you want to make accommodations to lesson plan, no problem. So you should be on top of it and know like what's coming up this week. Make sure you have your lesson from me. Make sure if there's anything that you need help with, like in the past, 5th graders would go to the pantry and, like go clean out the food pantry. So we support you in all of that. Like, don't worry about the logistics. We're going to help the teachers with the logistics. We're going to help the teachers with the lesson plans. We're going to help the teachers with the supplies. We're going to help the teachers to make sure the communication is getting out. But that being said, like you're responsible to make sure these units are happening and the students are participating. This is my favorite unit. It's there's no textbooks in here. It's just doing and like practicing and giving back to the community and building that part of their into their personalities that Muslims give back. Muslims do the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, which is like care for others, show kindness, care for the environment, and giving them those tools to carry this forward beyond WISE, right? So we don't want to just tell them like, yeah, the Sunnah is to do community service. You want to show them how, plant the seed, show them how, so that when they leave, they're like, yeah, I know how to do community service. I know how to come back and help. That's the goal. Any questions about curriculum, Sunnah in action, the activities or anything like that? And I know it's a lot of information. Don't worry. Like we're here to coach throughout the year. We'll set you up every week. Make sure that your stuff is set up. And then side note, if we go virtual, so you guys know we took this whole plan and we virtualized it. So Zainab, like we made sure that everything that we do here is exactly 1-for-1 virtual, and they're still doing fun stuff and hands-on activities, but in a virtual way. So we will do this. If we end up moving virtual, we'll do the same thing. We'll just switch this out for the virtual one. Okay, school policies. All right, my favorite part, school policies. It's so exciting. You're gonna have a teacher's handbook in your folder. It's really important that you read it if you haven't read it. And if you've read it before, just go back and read it again. Let me pull up the link. I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you, but just so you know, everything you need to know for our school rules, it's important that you read it. Our timings, our attendance policy, like the textbook policy, everything's in here. It's kind of a doubles over as for parents and then also for teachers. Grading is in here, teacher communication. So all of that stuff is in here. I think Samia and I this year are going to work on fixing the grading. I think it's always been a little bit of a sticky way for us to like grade the students. So we'll work, so more to come on grading, but everything you need to know is in here. It's really short. It's like 3 pages and lots of bullets. So just take the time to read it, and we're going to have you sign it at the end. You know, I'm visual. So here's the big takeaways from the handbook. Just be present, just show up, because if you don't show up, we don't have a class and we don't have a sub. So you're it. So if whatever you can do to show up, please show up. There's only like, honestly, like 20, with all the breaks, it's like 25 Sundays. So you have 25 days to teach them everything you can to be a Muslim. So if you miss a day, it's like missing 6 months. So please show up. I know it's not always practical, like you can't always show up, things happen. So if you know something's gonna happen, give us as much warning time in advance to find a sub. If you can, don't do the like Sunday morning, an hour before Sunday school, say, I can't come because we don't have a sub. So whatever you can, if you know you're gonna be absent and you have a good sub in mind and you can transition your things over to the sub, please, you know, like talk to us who that sub would be and like help us find a sub if you know you're gonna be gone. If it's an emergency, it's an emergency. I mean, emergencies happen, just let us know. We're trying to always model everything, so be on time. It just helps you to like have 5 minutes and not feel flustered, be on time. And then the kids see that too, right? So if we get relaxed and they get relaxed, be prepared as much as you can with like the lesson plans, your grading, your classroom expectations, your classroom activities. Just take some time in the week to look at what am I doing this week, have a plan going in. I think the teachers who are the most successful are the ones who have a plan going in. And if you need help, you already have like 3 teachers in the school, just message on the chat saying like, I need ideas. I don't know what to do this week, or can you give me some ideas? And then we have like coaching throughout the year. And then be a model. So same thing, you know, like whatever we expect from them, we have to do ourselves. Like, I mean, I know I don't have to tell this group, but like our clothes, you know, hijab, even if we don't wear hijab Monday through Friday, we do it wise it's to model to the students, like we respect what we're learning. We respect the contents, we respect the location. So, you know, that it's just, and also it's just easier to have a pinned hijab when you're teaching, your hands are free. And then be responsible. Let administration know whatever it is you need. If teaching is getting overwhelming, if you can't come up with ideas, if you need a sub, if you need a break, just let us know. Let us know. We are here for you. You do the teaching, you support the students, and then we support you. Any questions on policies? We're probably going to use Google Classroom again to keep track of grades, just FYI. Or did you guys like the paper grades better? Like, did you guys like I want to hear actually about grading. Did you guys like the paper chart better, or did you like Google Classroom better?
I'm all about technology.
Okay, good. Okay, and you can do both. You can paper chart it if you need to, and then fill it in into the Google Classroom. The Google Classroom, I think we're gonna do is because it's just easier for like Samia and I to go in and just check too. Like if you have questions about grading, I had so many teachers last year be like, Sister Simone, I don't know how to grade this piece. So then we would just both go into it, like me and the teacher go together and fix up the grade sheet. So probably Google Classroom. Any other questions about policy? Okay. And then lastly, we have our COVID rules. I'm going to say a couple of things. I'll let Samia take over too. You guys already know the COVID rules. The biggest one is they have to wash their hands often. They have to use sanitizer. I think we're going to have bottles of sanitizer in every classroom in between. So if like they're doing a classroom activity, they should, after the activity, they should pause, they should sanitize. We'll give a hand washing schedule. Masks is for everyone. You know, like that's going to be the mandate is masks. We'll keep tissues and things in the classroom. They should try to keep their own supplies. We're going to work on this to make sure kids have their own supplies, not sharing supplies. And then the teachers are responsible for sanitizing in between things, like, you know, they go outside and come like recess time. And older students can help you. They can sanitize their own desks. So just sanitizing. And then the biggest thing, left side is Government mandated, all teachers have to be vaccinated. So it's a vaccine mandate. If you're not vaccinated, then I think it's like a weekly testing that you have to show to the principal. Their social distance as much as possible. We are going to update the morning activities to make sure they're COVID appropriate. Limit, like no parents in the building. We're trying to limit the number of bodies in the building. And then the prayer routine, we're going to come up with that this week too. I don't know if we're all going to go pray downstairs together. It gets tight. We might have to split it up. Samia, anything else on COVID that you want to share in terms of our plan?
I would recommend, I know that we'll talk more about this with the school board, but I would recommend having the kids bring their own Janamaz if they're praying like together. I just think that would be something that we can consider as well.
Okay.
But I think the nice thing about the distance portion is that the numbers are so small that it'll be really easy to keep them pretty, spaced out. Of course, when you guys do group activities, as long as their masks are on, hands are washed, inshallah, we can only make dua that we all remain safe and healthy. At some point,
Go ahead.
at some point, we will be asking everyone to just share their proof of vaccination. And then if not, you're going to opt out for the weekly testing.
Yeah, inshallah. And then we're going to have COVID supplies on site. We are purchasing them. So we will have masks. We will have antibacterial. We will have Lysol wipes. You're not responsible to bring anything. We will have it. And kids who forget it, they have to be sent to the office to put a mask on. Anything else, like anything anyone wants to share, like concerns or tips about COVID that you want to share, or things that you find helpful in your child's weekly school or your own school? Anything anyone wants to share? How do you guys feel about this plan? Do you think it's doable? Okay, inshallah. I think that's it. That's really it. I know it was a lot of information we crammed. The big takeaways is use this week to get prepared. And then, just be ready, like mental focus on like what that first day of school is going to look like. What you'll get from me is the checklist, and you'll get, on the first day, you'll have like your books, and you'll have your activities. So all the activities we saw today will be printed and ready for you. Is there anything else anyone else needs from the school? You can message us on the side, but is there anything that like we're forgetting? Oh, Sister Rena, I have to send you the kindergarten curriculum. Remember that. Okay, I think that's it. Is anyone want to share anything? No? Okay, Jazakallah. I'm going to hit stop record.